I'm not going to labour on my background, but I've qualified in machine learning with MIT, studied at Oxford, and won awards for my work as well. Contact centre customer service is expanding, 300% increase, between 2016 and 2021. So things are really changing, and the omni-channel is exploding. I mean, I don't know how much of you sort of tweet every day, but the amount of traffic where we have to handle across customer contact is huge. But the one thing to watch for is the chat element, because that's now bypassing social, and therein lies some of the clues about what's really going to happen. We'll come on to that around the conversational element later on in the presentation. But I don't know how much of you call up every day, your bank or insurance, but customer service still sucks, and it's clunky. We're queuing, ID&V frustration, and we take too long to reach an agent, to talk to someone. There's got to be a better way. So, but there have been some successes. The Hyatt Hotel, they've actually reduced traffic by 30% through automation and self-service. And you've got IKEA, most of you know IKEA, handling 40,000 calls a day. I mean, you couldn't really do that with humans. So there's got to be some level of automation here to streamline operations, and they've made some big savings. Yeah. But as we go forward and we automate more, you're going to see a real level of pressure on human agents or human services, driven services, whereby they're going to be handling very complex queries, but also machines are going to come in. And most of you have probably looked at LinkedIn and read all the newspapers and magazines, but the level of automation around robots is just going to increase exponentially, and we've seen nothing yet. Let me tell you, we've seen nothing yet. The thing to also be aware of, and this was from Deloitte & Touche, is in 2016, 80 out of the 100 top global organizations out there are now already actively using AI. And what's really interesting here is, if we look at, that was back in February, we've seen an unprecedented level of growth since then. And if you look at, the farming industry 150 years ago, and how that's taken time to get automated, and now it's very efficient. They use AI in farming now. The legal profession are using AI virtual assistants to help them to find precedents for their case. So this is all reducing time on people. So they're not just taking jobs, they're actually supporting and streamlining process. But the real important thing here is that, customer loyalty is still the number one factor, and it's become more important definitely in the last 2 years that I can remember, because as I pointed out, my background with my studies, but also I spent 15 years in contact center, 15 years in speech recognition, and I designed the first bank in Europe on fraud and biometric services for Barclays Wealth in Europe, and I see the trends, and I see what's going to happen, and I think people are missing a number of things which, if you don't kind of look carefully, you'll miss the routes to go, because everyone is trying to build chatbots, blah, 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 wonderful. 90% of them are failing. It's about the customer conversation. Understand your customer, what they're doing, how they're saying it, how they're engaging with you. So the other important trend here is that, and this was from a really powerful survey, I think that was in Contact Babel this came from, 71% of contact centres expect virtual assistant growth. And, what does that mean? It just means that, the more you call up, the more likely you're going to be talking to a robot. You're going to be maybe chatting to a robot, or Skyping with a robot, or Facebook messaging with a robot, yeah? What about all the security issues? What about GDPR, PCI payments? You know, all these things are factors that have to be taken into account for your service, you know? But you know, the bottom line is that we all like talking, because this is, again, another clue. Chatbots. We hate typing. I'm sorry, but I hate typing. And I can type for so long, but I'm chatting to my mate, maybe having a conversation. I give up. I just start recording messages and sending, I don't know if you guys do, but sending messages, or maybe a call. Oh, I've got 10 questions here. Oh, let's just talk about it. Yeah, because the whole thing is slow. And this is the future. So Mary Meeker, who's the top analyst in Silicon Valley, she's like the Oracle guru. Every year she presents, has said that voice is going to be key. Speech recognition is going to be key. And natural language understanding. All these things are ingredients for the next generation of services. So if you've got these baked in, you're on a very good path to achieving many things as part of your solutions and designs. But it's not just the technology, it's also about the quality of your data, the knowledge base that you have, how you exploit it. And if you haven't got these things set up, how are you going to resolve customer queries very effectively as part of first contact resolution? You don't be sending customers around in cycles. And that's the aim. It's all about resolving the query as quickly as possible. And when you bring all that together, as I said, CX, the quality of the engagement, the words, the phrases, how you ask for things, the way it learns and you teach it in terms of the robots, the chatbots, and the knowledge that you bring in are going to be key to virtual assistants, but also the channels. I mentioned speech as well. We're going to show a little clip of that shortly. But have any of you thought about the first contact when a customer comes to you? Smarter predictability. You're getting all this data, the profile, the CRM, the behavior, when they call, how often they call, what day they call, the time they call, and what they're doing, how they do it, how long they do it. You can take all that data and start to build a model to predict. So what's the next best action? Build this into your solutions, yeah. But AI is not perfect, but can you imagine 10, 20 years from now? It's quite scary where we're going to be. And as I said, the customer journey is very important. This is an example of a contact center journey. And as you can see, we've got different legs, but we're collecting information about the caller, the behavior, analysis. When I did my MIT Masters, it's all about customer behavior, social analytics, or social physics. Bake that into your solutions. And the key goal for us at GCI, and please, this is not a plug because I'm a technical guy, but this is the vision I have, is we build a single conversational model, we get that working over the voice channel in natural language, and we expose it to mobile, web, email, social, SMS, and IoT devices. We don't have multiple products, we don't have multiple designs or multiple pieces of data. We build that single conversational model, and we take it to all those channels. That technology is here today. Just open your eyes, it's there, do your research. But the really exciting thing is, the AI is impacting on speech recognition in a big way, like never before. And I recorded a minute 50 or 30 seconds doing a customer complaint. And typically with speech recognition transcription, 72% accuracy. With AI will correct the words, the relationships. We're going to see this in a minute. And we get up to 93 to 97% accuracy. What does that mean? We can understand the customer conversation, we can understand the words, the relationships, the sentiment, and we can unlock and make decisions on it. Yeah. So once we've got all those words and phrases and information around the conversation, we can start to do some very clever stuff around emotion, language, and we can influence how our services will interact with customers and pass them off, to agents if they get into trouble. Could be a 90-year-old lady, you know, having trouble paying her council tax. So, you know, the conversational side of things is really going to open up new, exciting possibilities. And, you know, I love this title. I came up with it a few years ago. Automation without the alienation, yeah? It really is important that when you design your customer services, have the bridges there, have the handoff, or the callback, or the passing of the information across to the customer. I mean, how many of you call a call centre and you go through multiple steps and you go, can you give us your details again after you've given it to the IVR or after you've given it to some department? And they say, oh, what's your customer number again? It's like, oh, God, how boring is that? How stupid and dumb is that? There's got to be a smarter way. And we can bring all that context and pass it around. With the call, it can be through a chat session, a mobile app, doesn't matter. But, you know, Forrester, you know, highlight when we do that frictionless handoff, rather than the customer going around in loops or the customer trying to call in on another channel, you get bigger savings and cost reductions by having that frictionless handover on the customer experience. So, and I'll point out, you know, you can detect it, you can learn it, you can profile the customer, and obviously keep track of the context of the conversation as well. But you know, there's been some great success, and the Royal Bank of Canada, I'll tell you guys, this is breakthrough stuff this year. The Royal Bank of Canada, they have gone with an IVR system that is truly conversational. Not, what's your mother's maiden name, what's your postcode, what's this, what's that, right? This is using, it's actually not nuanced technology, it's other speech recognition technologies. You know, Microsoft have it now, Google have it. Yeah, the market is changing. You don't need to go to some of these other traditional vendors. And they've achieved a huge completion rate, you know, in the Royal Bank of Canada, you know, with a conversational system. This is exciting stuff, really is. So they've had less than 1% negative feedback, 59% reduction in IVR abandonment. Oh my God, that's music to my ears. For many, many years, we've struggled with these kinds of situations. But you know, they're going to be everywhere. Intelligent virtual assistants, and at home. I don't know how many of you got Google Home or Alexa, but you know, you can start to leverage all that. And even now, customers are talking to me. How can we monitor your support desk incidents at GCI and link into ServiceNow and just ask Alexa in our office, you know, what's the status? Customers are asking us to do this already. I don't know if you've used Alexa at home, but you have to go Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. I've disabled all of that, and I've rewritten the interface to be conversational. So you can keep asking questions in a, and I ripped out the Amazon AWS. I was on stage with the head of AWS and Amazon, David, can't remember his surname. I was on stage with him, and I ripped out their AI engine, and I replaced it with Microsoft Lewis. Okay, I'm not sure he liked it, but he was grinning. You know, the most important thing is that, you know, customer experience really matters, and we've got to save money, but, you know, in the next decade, you're going to see more of this automation and robots. But, you know, the most important thing is when you look at these technologies, don't just look at a chat bot, a Skype bot, a messenger bot, and this, that, and the other. Think about speech recognition. Yeah, the interfaces like Skype for business, we do a lot of Skype for business with GCI, the payment process for PCI, you know, because you want to take payments, the GDPR element, but also how, you know, you're adding biometrics on top of the voice channel, or maybe you've got a mobile app, yeah, to take the picture, to authenticate your face recognition. But you can do all that from one platform, or one set of platform technologies. You don't need lots of different things, yeah? That's the stuff that's coming, it's already here, and by God, it's exciting. And, you know, it will just change many things. But you can track also all the interactions and see where customers are engaging with you and what they're saying. So, you know, we're seeing a big rise in the, you know, the experience aspect and the acceptance of these. You know, as the generations come through, you know, the X and the Y generation. And really the gains, we're seeing big ROI, the numbers are huge, as you can imagine. So, the loaded cost of an agent, 25,000 in the industry in the UK. You remove one agent, you remove 10 or 20, you start to get the real big ROI cases then, and you're 24/7. They never get sick, they never take holidays, of course. And, we get consistency, but also because we have a world-class PCI payments product, we can link that into our virtual assistants and just get PCI and GDPR compliance very quickly for our customers, for example, which is very powerful.
So, can I ask a question about that?
Can I just finish and then we've got questions? I think we'll have 5 minutes, so we're nearly done. So really what this does is, once you reduce all that cost, you're going to have specialised agents then dealing with more complex queries for customer service. But then you can expand your business. I was with some guys, I think they're probably in the room here, a bank startup, young guys, but this is the kind of hip and trendy technology that's going to eclipse and disrupt the competition, because the big boys, we're getting disrupted by blockchain at the moment, and robots are also trading blockchain at the moment as well. Well, Bitcoin over blockchain. So it's all happening. So what we're seeing is more complex tasks, and I know also there are robotic automations on planning permission for local authorities. I've never seen that before. So hundreds of thousands of calls going into the local authority. They can handle the planning permission requests or determine whether you should apply for planning permission without talking to someone. Yeah. And when you bring it all together, you've got the contact center, the call management, the social media, and all these wonderful elements we have in our cloud, as well as next generation, converged, conversational, biometric, fraud detection, PCI platform, all in our cloud. And really, you either get on the train or you get off it, because this thing is going to come like a big juggernaut. And yeah, people who belittle it really got to open their mind, because it's quite significant.